Yes, good evening everyone. Please confirm if you see my screen. Is it visible? Are we good to proceed? Yes, no. Okay, okay, Jyoti. Okay then. So let's get it started. So we have started discussing about what? We have started discussing about the Java collection frameworks. So where was it? In a research. Yes. Okay, collection framework. So let me take a new notepad. Okay. Collection framework. So do you remember yesterday I have given the hierarchy of the Java collection framework in the form of diagram. The form of diagram I have given you the hierarchy of the Java collection framework. So we are going to discuss each and every class and each and every interface in detail that is placed inside the collection framework. Right? If you understand one class perfectly, one class in the sense the class in the context of Java collection. If you understand one class, so if you understand array list, so understanding the remaining classes are going to become very easy. Okay. So today we are going to understand about what is an array list in Java. What is an array list in Java collections? If you pay some attention, you will get a lot of interview questions in Java collections. They ask you about the difference between array list versus vector. They ask you about the difference between array list versus stack. You get a question like could you tell the difference between the array list versus linked list? Okay, this kind of questions you can expect very often in the interview room. Okay, theoretically you should be very strong, and practically I am going to make you very strong. Okay, stay focused. So array list. So when I talk discussing about array list, you must try to differentiate few things. Yesterday I have said it very clearly, if you remember or not. What I have said yesterday, okay, the collection is an interface, list is an interface, right? And array list and vector, linked list and stack, they are classes. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about what? We are going to discuss about the array list. Okay, can I keep the subheading as array list? Let me keep the subheading as what? Array list. Okay, so we will list out some points about array list. We will list out what? Some points about array list. But by looking at this diagram, I can clearly say that array list is implementing the list interface. Yes or no? Because by look at this architecture itself clearly states array list is is as a direction that is pointing towards what? That is pointing towards a list. Okay, so in our in this diagrammatical representation, the collection is an interface. Okay, and the list is also an interface. Okay, and the remaining containers, they are called as what? All the remaining containers are called as what? Classes. So these are what? This is one of the class, and this is one of the class, and this is one of the class, and this is one of the class. Okay, you must able to differentiate between the classes and the interface. Okay, so array list. Okay, since we are talking about array list, the first point can be the array list is a, so I can say that it is a class in Java collection framework. Okay, so by looking at this diagram, I can I have a conclusion that the array list is a class in the Java collection framework. Okay, the second point also can be added, like array list implements list interface. Do you agree with me? So there is a relationship, there is a correlationship between array list and the list itself. There is a correlationship between the array list and the list itself. So I can come to a conclusion that okay, this array list and the list, they have a relationship. What kind of relationship they have? They have parent and child relationship. Okay, so when you are making a relationship between an interface and between a class, you are supposed to use the implements keyword, not the extends keyword. We have seen these things already. Okay, so this is the second point that we can extract. What is the second point? ArrayList implements list interface. Okay, why I am using here implements keyword? Because list is an interface, ArrayList is a class. If both are classes, I can say I can use extends keyword, but if one is class and if the another one is interface, I can use implements keyword. So it is very clear that I have also a second point which states that ArrayList implements the list interface. So by looking at this diagram, I have two conclusions. Okay, the third point that we are going to discuss. Okay, we'll see some theory. Okay, after while seeing each and every theory, I'm going to explain you the things that are happening behind the scenes. So stay focused. This third thing is ArrayList was introduced in the JDK Java Development Kit 1.2 version. Okay. Fourth point. ArrayList is an index based. Okay. Now we focus this point. ArrayList is an index based array. Okay. So I can come to a conclusion. For example, we know what is a RAM, right? So we know what is a RAM. Previously, we were discussing a lot of things about Java arrays. Okay, let me try to import that the memory if I have somewhere. Okay, I have. Okay, so this is the RAM. If you remember or not, this is the RAM. Yes or no? Okay, just imagine that this is the RAM. This is not a RAM. Just imagine that this is a RAM. Okay. So what it says, let me write down the syntax of ArrayList. Okay, I want you to introduce the syntax of ArrayList. Okay, there are two types of syntaxes. There are two types of syntaxes. Or I can say that there are two types of declaration also I can say. Okay, the first type is the non-generic type. Generic type. The second one is generic. So generic is the new word, that we have come across, especially in the Java programming language, isn't it? Generic. So what does it mean to be a generic? So when I say non-generic, it means the array list is capable to store all types of data, any kind of data, any variety of data, right? So this is a syntax. Array list obj equal to new array list. Okay, so this obj reference, you are able to see this obj reference, okay, of non-generic type. Okay, what does it mean? This reference is capable of storing. Okay, let me create some space here. Okay. So this reference, okay, this obj reference is capable of storing what? It is capable of storing the heterogeneous data. Heterogeneous data is what? I can have a data like Java is of what? String type. Okay, so I can have a data like 100 which is of a numeric type. I can have a data like true which is of the boolean type. I can have a data like D which is of a character type. I can have a data like 100.20 something which is of floating point type. Okay, so this data, each and every data is representing a specific type. Okay, this object reference is qualified enough to store all these types of data. There is no uniqueness here. Each and every data is representing a different data type, and this object reference is capable to store Java, the data which is 2, the value which is 100, the character which is D, and again the numerical value which is in the form of floating point 100.220f. Okay, so this is of what? Non-generic type. This is of what type? Non-generic type. I can say that, okay, this obj reference is of what type? Non-generic type. Non-generic type means this reference is capable to store the data of different types, non-generic type. Okay, so when I say the generic type, so when I say what is the next one, what is the next one? A generic type. When I say the generic type, you are being very specific. You are being very specific. You are trying to do a kind of what? The specificity. Specificity means if you want to store only the string data type, okay, you will be declaring that in the angular braces. Okay, there. Okay, you have to declare an angular brace. Okay, let me create a new object. Which is not new. Array list. Okay, so you have to declare an angular brace, and if you want to ensure that only the data that is unique or only the data that is common has to be stored in this object reference. Okay, if you have that specificity, if you have an intention to store the unique data, not the data like this. Okay, this is the raw data where you have all varieties of values. But if you want to store the unique values, okay, this time if you want to store only the string values, okay, you can declare that type in this angular braces and in this angular braces. So when you do this, okay, this obj reference is capable to store only the data of the string type. You are not allowed to store any other data type apart from the string. So this comes under what? The generic category. Generic means very specific. For being very specific. No, I just want to store the integer data type. I just want to store the numbers. You can do that also. Where was it? Okay, so you just want to store the numbers. If you just want to store the numbers, okay, so you can declare integer. Okay, you are being very specific. Okay, in this case, sir, you have said that array list collections are capable of store the data of all types, data of any type. Yes, you can store. You have an option to store like that, but in order to choose that option, you need to choose the non-generic type. But if you want to choose the generic type, it means you are being very specific that the specific types of data, the specific type of values, the common types of values would be allowed in this particular reference variable, because you are defining it already that you want to store only the string data type. Here you are defining it already that you want to store only the integer data type. Like that, you can define in such a way that the data type that is defined in this angular braces, okay, so those values could be stored. Those type values could be stored. Are you able to follow? Okay, if I choose the type as float, okay, these are the wrapper classes. Okay, you are allowed to store the data of float type. So generic types and the non-generic types. So these are the two syntaxes of collection class. Okay, so you so whatever you choose, okay, whatever you choose, let us go with this generic type. Let me take this as an example. Okay, so we need to understand why array list is an indexer based array. To understand it, I am going to take this as an example. Okay, so let me go to the this let me remove all this. Okay, now see, I am creating an object by using the array list. Okay, see, it is when I type array list and I am clearly saying that I want to store the values of integer type. Okay, this type has been defined in what? In angular braces. See, so when you mention, like when you do angular braces and when you are defining the data type, what does it mean? So you are specifically telling, okay, you are giving a specificity that only integer values are allowed to store in this object reference. Okay, now it is throwing an error. See what kind of error it is throwing. It is not able to identify what is an array list. Okay, so array list is not directly available to us. You need to import this package, java.util package. Okay, array list is part of java.util package. So I can also add this in our points that are already listed out. What is the okay, let us take this as fifth point. Okay, and the fourth point is array list is in java.util. Okay, it is not directly available to us. Whenever you are using the array list class, you have to ensure that you are also importing the array list from the util package, right? So the array list has been created successfully. Now go back to the question. So it's not the question. I was saying that array list is an indexed based array. Why it is an indexed based array? I am going to explain you now. Okay, now see, if I want to add some elements, if I want to add obj dot add. Okay, so in the Java arrays we use indexes, right? If you recollect this, if you recollect the index arrays topic, we have been using the indexes. For example, when you have an array like integer a equal to new integer, okay, and initially you are going to define a size, yes or no? Defining size is mandatory in the arrays, but in collections it is not like that. We are not even defining the size. Okay, how the size is being defined internally? That should be our question, right? So look at the comparison in the arrays. We are told to define the size because it is mandatory. Okay, declaring the size is mandatory in arrays, but in array list it is not mandatory. Is it really like it is not mandatory? No, it is not like that. The moment you have performed this, the moment you have performed the declaration, and the moment you have performed the instantiation, the declaration part is done and instantiation part is done. By default, internally it is going to occupy what, 10 spaces. I can say that the capacity is going to be 10 by default. You declare or you don't declare, no matter at all. Okay, the moment you declare the reference variable and the moment you perform the instantiation, okay, this line is going to do what? This line is going to do, okay, this line is going to create some spaces. Okay, it is going to create some spaces. Okay, the 10 random space will be occupied. Okay, how many spaces will be occupied? One. Okay, let me take this in. It could be anywhere in the RAM. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I can conclude that the by default the size of the array is what? The size of the array is 10. Even though if you declare or if you don't declare, the capacity is 10 by default. Okay, is it counting to 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, it is. Okay. By default, the capacity is what? The capacity is, okay, let me add this point also. So to understand this point, we need to understand the point that I have just mentioned. By default, the initial capacity of array list is what? 10. Okay, whether you declare or whether you don't declare, no issues. Okay, the moment you start declaring and performing the instantiation, okay, the moment these things are happened, behind the scenes it is going to occupy 10 set of storage spaces. Okay, it's going to occupy how many set of storage spaces? 10 set of storage spaces. Okay, I can conclude that by default the capacity is what? The capacity is 10. Okay, so far so good. Then what about this? What about this point? Okay, array list is an index base. Okay, so to add an element in an array, okay, go back to the program. So to add an element in the array, what we were doing, we are using the indexes, yes or no? We are using the indexes. Okay, on top of the particular index, we are able to assign a value to this address, yes or no? When I say a of 0 and equal to 100, means value assigned will be, value 100 will be assigned to this index 0. Okay, when I say a of 1 equal to 300, okay, it means 300 gets assigned to the index 1. This is what, this is how it works for Java arrays. Java arrays. Okay. Can we conclude that the same concept could be applied for Java array list? Okay, in the array list the situation is a little different. The scenario is completely different. Okay, in the array list you do not want to depend upon the indexes. Okay, directly you can do what? Directly you can use this reference variable obj. Okay, when you do obj.add, okay, so this add is a method. Okay, just use this reference variable dot, use the method add. Okay, and you can enter the value as your wish. Okay, the moment you do this, 100 will be stored in the first index. First index is what, okay, so now see, let me add three numbers. Obj.add, okay, 200. Obj.add 300. Okay, so we are adding three numbers, guys. For the time being, we are adding three numbers. So this is our memory allocation. So no. Okay, this is what the okay, so what is the name of our memory? OBJ, right? OBJ. Okay, OBJ. So what I'm trying to do, what we are trying to do, we are trying to add values to this respective memory, right? So when I say obj.add, okay, here the order is important. Here what? The order is important. Okay, so in the Java arrays, we know that with the indexes we are able to add the values to the respective indexes. Okay, when I say a of 5 equal to something like 500, it means this 500 will be stored inside this index 5. So we are already specifying the value, but in the array list, in the collections, it is like it will follow the order, insertion order. Okay, how you are inserting the element? Okay, the first element that is inserted, okay, that is inserted by you, that is added by you, the first element that is added by you will occupy the first place. Okay, what is the first element that we are adding? 100. Okay, 100 will be occupying this. Okay, once it is occupied, the index number gets generated. Completely different. It's completely different than array. Okay, what is the second number that we are supposed to add? 200. Okay, we are adding 200. Okay, so 200 will be added here. Okay, and the respective index number will be generated. Right? What is the third number that you are adding? 300. Okay, 300 will be added here. Okay, and the respective index number will be generated. Okay, so let me take some space here. Methods in array. Okay, we will also see what are the methods that is available in the array list parallelly, along with the definition. We will also parallelly see what are the methods that is available in the ArrayList parallel. Okay, first one is what? The add method. Okay, what is this add method is going to do? This add method is going to add the elements according to the specified data type. Yes or no? What is the purpose of add method? Okay, so add method is one of the methods in the array list that is used to what? That is used to do what? Okay, it is going to add the respective values in the this method is used to add the element in the index number will be generated at the time of adding the elements. Right, so this is the first method. So you can use a add method. Okay, this method is used to insert a specific element at a specific position in the list. Right, so I can also say that, okay, the moment you are using the add method, okay, if I'm using again add method for the fourth time, obj dot add, this time I want to add what? This time I want to add 400. Okay, so this 400 will be added at the last index, right, in the orderly fashion. Okay, the 400 will be added here. As soon as the 400 is added, okay, you get what? You get the index number generated. Okay, likewise, if I want to add obj dot add, we want to add 500. Okay, the 500 is going to occupy here the next location. Okay, so the index number will be 4. Okay, so by this I can conclude that, okay, array list is an index based array, and remember this point, where the insertion order is preserved. Okay, when I say insertion order is preserved, what do I really mean? Okay, it is not violating the insertion order. Okay, how you want to add the values? Okay, in the same order the data is getting, these values are getting stored behind the scenes. Yes or no? Right, so this is the order that you want to add the values. Okay, first value should be 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 in the same order, in the same order. Okay, all these values are getting settled or getting stored in the same order in the memory. Okay, I can conclude that the insertion order is preserved. Yes or no? It is not getting added randomly. It's not like 100 is getting added here, 200 is getting added here, and 400 is getting. It's not like that. In the order, in the orderly fashion, okay, it is maintaining the insertion order. So I can say that ArrayList is an indexer based array where the insertion order is preserved. Can we conclude this conclusion? Okay. Now the seventh point. ArrayList allows duplicate values. Okay, when I say it allows duplicate values, okay, we do not want to have this. Okay, let me remove this. Look at the beauty of array. I can directly use system.out.println statement, and I can print the object reference. Okay, it is going to print the values the way it is. Main method is not found. Main method is not static string array box. Okay, now main method is that See the same order the values are getting displayed: 100, 200, 300, 100, 200, 300. Okay, so what is the next 2 points that I am discussing, that we are discussing? Okay, ArrayList are going to allow duplicate values. Okay, does it allow duplicates? Can I add duplicates? Yes, you can add duplicates. Is there any issues if you add duplicates? No, there will be no issues if you add duplicates. You can add the duplicate values, but when you print this, again the insertion order will be preserved. All the duplicate values are accepted. 100, 200, 300, 300. So why I'm stressing about duplicate values here. Even Java arrays, even in the arrays concept, even Java arrays accepting duplicate values. But some data structure inside the collection, we are going to see that it is going to eliminate the duplicate values. Okay, ArrayList is a data structure that is going to allow duplicate values, but there are, in the future classes we will see data structures like the set, hash set and all. They don't accept duplicate values. You will completely understand about that picture going forward. Okay, for now try to understand, try to keep this point in the mind. Okay, ArrayList are going to allow duplicate value. Okay, 7th point is also validated. Okay, now 8th point. Okay, ArrayList. Okay, let me give you this example. Okay, ArrayList is allowing duplicate values. So to justify this example, okay, there is a data structure like asset. Okay, asset is just like an array list. Okay, obj1 equal to don't worry what is an asset. Okay, we will discuss that in the. Okay, so let me add a few elements in the add set. Asset. So previously, when we are using arrays, let me quickly add some elements. obj1 dot add. Okay, so I want to add 100, 200. Now see, I am adding the same values that was added for the array list. The same values I am adding for the list. For the array list, we have got this answer. Okay, for this asset, look at this. Look at the output. There is no output because okay, look at the output now. See, we have added 5 elements. Okay, it is considering the unique elements. Don't you think so? 100, 200, 300. Right? So let me add 200 once again. obj1 dot add. Let me add 200 once again. Okay, so duplicate values will be ignored by this data structure. 100, 200, 300. Okay, so duplicates are ignored. 200 is getting added for the second time, that is ignored. 300 is getting added for 2 more occasions, getting ignored. Only the unique values are getting printed, or getting this. Okay, that's why. Okay, this is an important point that you should remember. ArrayList allows duplicate values. Okay, and 8th point, ArrayList does not follow sorting order. Okay, ArrayList is a kind of data structure where it is going to print the values. Where it is going to print what? Where it is going to print the values according to the way it is added. 100, 200, 300, 300, 300. For example, if you have values like 500, 200, 100, and something like 700, and I have 50. Okay, I can expect output. I can expect the output according to the. I can accept the output in such a way that according to the value, according to the order that we have added the values: 500, 200, 100, 750. It should be the output. Okay, so the output is not sorted. Okay, the output is ideally following the insertion order. The way it is inserted, okay, the way it is getting displayed in the console. Yes or no? Okay, then what why it is required for me to reiterate this point? ArrayList does not follow sorting order. Okay, there are some data structures like tree set. Okay, so let me reset. This is one of the topics in the collection framework. Okay, you need to understand these comparisons. So when I add something here, okay, there will be a contract statement in the next data structure. Okay, now in the tree set, okay, if I add the values randomly like this, if I run this, the output is going to be the sorted order. See, 50, and how the values are added. First value is 500, second value is 200, third value is 100, fourth value is 700, and fifth value is 50. Okay, is the insertion order preserved? Insertion order is not preserved. Okay, the output is sorted, completely sorted. Okay, you can add any values randomly. The output is going to be in the form of what? Sorted order. If I say minus 222, now the output has to be shuffled in such a way that the resultant output is going to be the sorted from ascending order. This is the difference. Okay, so this is the difference. This is the contracts that you will see in the remaining data structures or remaining classes. Okay, so to understand this, you must understand what are the advantages that you have with the array list. So when you talk about array list, they don't allow duplicates. They follow the insertion order is preserved. It does not follow the sorting order. Why I am giving these statements? To understand the contracts that you will face in the future classes on future topics. Are you getting this? I am just injecting you, point by point. Okay, I will also explain you the internal working. Type yes or no in the chat box. Yes, good. Please stay focused. Okay, ninth point. Okay, remember all these points. So all these points will be applicable for the remaining data structure. Okay, remaining topics. There will be a small change. That's it. Okay, the ninth point. Okay, what is the ninth point that I can say? Array list allows heterogeneous elements. Or non-generic type. Now look at the beauty of array list. Okay, so this is our program. So this is generic type. I already said that whenever you are specifying the data type, that becomes generic. The data type is specified in the angular braces. It means it is a generic. To remove this, it becomes a non-generic type. Okay, when it is becoming the non-generic type, you can add any kind of data. It is not necessary that it should be of integer type. It can be of the string type also. It can be of the boolean type also. It can be of what, floating point type also. Okay. It can be a character type also. Run this code. Okay, see, you are able to store the data, or you were able to store the values of different types. Okay, that's why we call it as what? Array list allows heterogeneous elements. Heterogeneous for non-generic type. Okay, this is important. Non-generic means you are not even specifying the type. We're not specifying the type in the angular braces. Okay, this becomes what? Non-generic. So when this is becoming non-generic, it means you are allowed to add the data or the values of different types. Okay, when you make it as generic, okay, and let me do the generic version in the instantiation also. When you make it a generic version, see, it is throwing an error. Now it is not possible because since you are you have the complete the specification is very clear here, isn't it? In the integer, so all the values that you are going to add must be of integer type. So that's why you are getting errors. Are you getting this? So can I conclude that, okay, array list allows heterogeneous element for the non-generic type? Can we have this conclusion? Array list allows homogeneous elements, same elements for the generic type. Agree? Everyone? Yes, no? Come on, I want answers from you. Okay, so next point is 11th point. Okay, the 11th point is capacity. Okay, so the array list is resizable in nature. Okay, so the okay, what does it really mean? Okay, let me give you this formula. Okay, incremental capacity. I will tell you what is this incremental capacity. Incremental capacity equal to current capacity into 3 divided by 2 plus 1. Okay, incremental capacity, what does it really mean? Okay, and focus on this point also. Array list is resizable in nature. Resizable in nature. Okay, we have understood that the moment you are declaring an array list and the moment you are performing the instantiation in array list, what is happening behind the scenes? Behind the scenes, okay, a size of 10, okay, the array list of size 10 gets created by default. Okay, capacity is 10. This capacity is what? 10, right? And at the same time, okay, if you are keep adding elements, you're doing what? If you keep adding some elements, okay, let me go back to the previous version. Okay, okay, you are adding elements like what are the elements that has been added so far? 100, 200, 300, 400, 500. Okay, 100, 200. Focus here, this point is very important. 300, 400. Okay, you keep adding elements. 500, 600, 700, 800, 900. Okay, how many elements are there? 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700. Okay, okay. Let me add one more element. 1000. Okay, now you see, so already we have added 5 elements. Okay, now we are going to add another 5 elements and we are going to visualize what are the things that is happening behind the scenes. Okay, so because of our new changes, okay, so these are the changes in the program. Okay, it is going to point here. Okay, 600 will be added. Yes or no? Here the value 600 will be added. 700 will be added. Okay, and 800 will be added, right? 900 will be added. Okay, 1000 will be added. Okay. So far so good. So far so good. Let me remove this. And the size of it is going to get index number as soon as the value is added. The index number gets generated. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right now I want to do what? I want to do an experiment. Okay, now I am adding the 11th element on the 10th index. I want to add what? The 11th element. 10. Let me take this 11. I want to add this element. Okay, in the legacy arrays, in the legacy Java arrays, when you are adding some element, okay, that is out of the index, okay, you get what? Index out of bound exception. Because when the size of the array is fixed, you are capable to add only those elements that is defined for the size. If the size is 5, okay, in Java arrays, if the size is 5, you can add only 5 values. Yes or no? Size is 6, you can add 6 values. size is 7, you can add 7 values, right? But in array list, okay, now you're adding one more element, 11th element. Okay, you're adding one more element, but already the size is what? Already we have exhausted the size. Okay, this 11 has to occupy somewhere here, but the size is 10. Default size is generated as 10. So no, default size is what? I said that default size is going to be 10 in Java array list. Okay, I am adding the 11th element on the 10th index. 11th element is getting around 10. What will happen? Okay, as soon as the array list encounters the situation, when the new element is getting added out of the box or outside the memory space, okay, it will do what? It will use this formula. What is the formula? What is the formula? Formula says, okay, formula says, what is the current capacity? Current capacity is default size, which is 10. 10 into 3 by 2, 3 by 2 is, anyhow, it is going to be what? 1.5. Yes or no? 3 by 2 is what? 1.5. Let's 10 into 1.5 plus 1. Okay, it is going to give us what? 10 into 1.5 is 15. Yes or no? 15 plus 1. It is going to give me what? 16. It's going to give me what? 16. Okay, so 16. Okay, it says 16. Okay, a new array will be created of size 16. Okay, focus here, focus here. A new array will be created of size what? Size 16. So 16 means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay. A new array of size 16 will be created. Okay, all the existing values, all the existing values that is represented here, okay, will be copied and will be pasted in the new array. Instead of doing this, I need to do it one by one. Okay, so 100 will be copied and pasted in the new array. Okay, likewise 200 will be copied, okay, and pasted in the new array. Okay, likewise all the numbers will be copied from the existing array. Okay, here it is going to be 300. Okay, 400 will be copied and pasted, 500 will be copied and pasted, okay, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1000. Okay, what is the value that we are trying to add out of the box? 11. 11 will be added here, okay, and the index numbers will be generated accordingly. Okay, and the reference obj will be copied here. Okay, and this array, the existing array, this array will be destroyed. This array will be deleted from the space. Okay, the new array of capacity is what? What is the capacity of the new array now that we have with us? Okay, 16. Right? 16. Okay, what we call this concept? This concept is called as what? The incremental capacity. As soon as you overshoot the size of the array, okay, it is going to use the incremental capacity formula. The array size will be increased. That's why it is called as what? Resizable in nature. Resizable in nature. What is resizable? When you overshoot the size of the array, existing size of the array, is going to use the incremental capacity formula. By using this formula, it is going to increase its size. Okay, don't you think that this is the new size of the array? Okay, some new array will be created. New array will be created with this size. Yes or no? Okay, the existing values will be copied to the this new array. Copy pasted, copy, 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 and the old array will be destroyed. Okay, now if you print this, okay, now if you print obj, we will see the values in the same order. Okay, we are not getting index out of bound exception. Okay, 11th value is added at last. Okay, so this is how you can visualize. Okay, these values could be visual. These values are being visualized from the console, but behind the scenes, this is how you can visualize the values that is printed. This is the memory visualization. Okay, this is the console visualization. In the console you are seeing this, but behind the scenes, this many things are happening behind the scenes. One object area is getting distracted, and a new object area is getting created. Do you agree with me why it is resizable in nature? Now is it making sense? When you come across this word resizable, okay, why it is called as resizable? This is why it is called as resizable. Getting this? Yes, no? Whenever someone is asking you what is resizable in nature, this is what resizable. I want answers from everyone. Do you have any confusions? Come on. The 4 persons have responded. Samikta, Jyoti, and responded. Yeah, good. Okay, so I can write it. The array list is resizable in nature. And its incremental capacity is as follows. Right? So the 12th point. Okay. So see, one more thing. Okay, you can have array of any number of size. You can have a lot of elements. You have what? You have a lot of elements. So when it is really required to go for array list, when you have an option to retrieve the data frequently. Okay, when you want to retrieve the data frequently, you can go for array list. It is faster when you use it to retrieve the data. Okay, now you see guys, now you focus here, go back to the diagram. So this is the new array. Forgot about this new array and all. Okay, now let me take a small array. Okay, this is an array. Okay, let me say that I have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Okay, and let me, okay, how many spaces are there? Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Default capacity has been created. Okay, you need to understand the difference between the size method, okay, and the capacity. What does it mean to be a size, and what does it mean to be a capacity? Size and the capacity, difference between the size and the capacity. Okay, so the capacity is talking about the space, the whole space. The capacity is all talking about the space. The size is talking about the values that is occupied in each and every space, each and every individual space. For example, let you add 5 elements, 1 2 3 4 5. If I ask you what is the size, I ask you what is the size of this array list, we should say how many values are occupied here. Okay, 5. The size is going to be what? 5. So size is directly proportional to the number of values. Remember, please remember. Okay, size is what? Size is equal to the number of values that has been added inside the array list or the array list object. Capacity is something. The space that is created when you are declaring the array list. The space that is getting created. Okay, these are the spaces that was created, right? These are the spaces 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so the 10 is talking about the capacity, but when you talk about the size, the values that you add, the values that if you are adding two values, okay, then you must say that the size of this array list is 2. The size of this array list is 2. When you are adding the three values, you must say that the size of this array list is 3. Okay, so consider the see there is a method called size. We have a method called size. If you want to print the size of this array, I can just do obj dot obj dot the size method. If I run this, 11. How many values we have added? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11. So 11 values. Okay, if I remove one value, 10. Okay, because I have removed the value in bit. Let me remove this also. 9. Size is 9. Okay, so there is another method we have found. Okay, what is the second method? Size method. Okay, size method return type is integer. Okay, this method is if you have kicked out of the meeting room, please rejoin it. Okay, the class will be for 5 more minutes. This is a method. This method is used to return the size of the given array list. The size is nothing but the values that are number of values that are added inside the okay. So what is the total point? Okay, when you want to retrieve data frequent, okay, look at this. Okay, retrieval. Okay, so retrieval concept is very simple. Okay, this was our previous array. Okay, this was our previous array. See now, see what it is going to give us according to the retrieval. I'm using a statement like obj dot get. Okay, there is a method called get. There is a method called get. Okay, I can define the index number within the boundary. I can define the index number within the boundary. If I define the index number by using the get method, if I say, hey, please get the element that is present in the index file. Okay, my screen is visible, guys. Okay. Thank you for confirming. Okay, what I was saying. Yeah. So I want to see the value that is present inside the index 4. Okay. So I have an option to retrieve the values by using the index number. In order to retrieve the values by using the index numbers, I need to use a method called the get method. Okay. By using the get method, I will be able to see the values that is on the respective index 500. Okay, if I say, hey, please get me the value on top of index 3. Okay, what is the value that you think for this? What could be the value? Come on, answer. Okay, it is going to return a value on top of index number 3. Okay, so what is the value that is on top of index 3? Very simple answer, very simple question, isn't it? One I'm asking everyone, what could be the value on top of index 3? Get 3 means get the value on top of index 3. Count. Okay, this is our values. Count which is the index 3 and what could be the output. Any answers? I am 400. Yeah, 400. Good, good, good. 400. Index always starts from 0, Jyoti. So this is on 0th index, first index, second index, third index. So obviously the output should be 400. Same thing, you do not have to think much, okay, when you are using the get method. Okay, go just take a pen and paper and draw how many values you have added and give the index numbers 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, after giving the index numbers you'll get to know, okay, which value is occupying on which index. Making sense? What about others? Are you getting this? Okay, so the get value, okay, what I'm trying to say is, okay, you have a method. Okay, there are predefined method. You can use this predefined method to get the values on top of the respective indexes, right? So can I say that, okay, we have also found one more method. What is that get method? Integer get method. Okay, so this method is used to return the, you need to pass the index here. Index. This method is going to return the value that is on top of respective index. Okay, so this has a direct relationship between what? This. Okay, can we conclude that by using the index number, okay, if you want to retrieve data frequently, directly by using the index number, I will be able to catch hold of the data. Yes or no? Directly by using the index number, I will be able to catch hold of the data. For example, in your college, okay, in your college, you always give attendance. Okay, you get roll numbers, you get registration numbers. Yes or no? Registration numbers. Okay, how the registration numbers are generated? Okay, they are generated according to the name. Okay, they consider your name and they ensure that they follow the alphabetical order, especially the people whose names are starting with A. They always get the first number, and and it keeps goes on like that. Okay, in the ascending order pattern, right? So when I add obj dot add, okay, if I add Balaji, okay, we have some other person whose name is starting with A. Okay, Akshay. Akshay. If I add some more person whose name is giving the name as null. Okay, so the parallelly we are considering that the index numbers are the registration numbers. Okay, I can ideally add the names in the alphabetical order. Till in any set of data I can add till the by following the alphabetical order. Okay? So parallelly the registration numbers are generated. Okay, so null is going to hold the index 0 and Akshay will be on index 1, Balaji will be on index 2. If you have any other person whose name is starting with C, you can add that person. Okay, let me add Chandran 3. Okay, I can retrieve the values by using what? By using the index numbers just directly. Okay, just think that these index numbers are the registration numbers. Okay, I can frequently retrieve the data. Okay, if I get 3, so not outward into obj dot get the value on top of index 3. Chandran is getting this value. Get the value on top of index number. This number can be treated as a registration number. That is my intention. Okay, the way we are accessing is by using the indexes. How we are accessing this? We are accessing this by using the index numbers. Yes or no? So the way we are accessing is really, it's a very quick method. Even if you have 1 lakh object, even if you have 1 crore object, okay, so the time that is going to take to retrieve the value on top of first index, the same time it is going to take for the value if you try to fetch the value that is placed on 5 lakhs 67,999 times index. If you are storing such values on top of this index, okay, and if you are trying to retrieve the value on top of first index, let us say that it's going to take 1 second. Okay, the same time it is going to take 1 second, because you already have the address. Okay, accessing the data retrieval is going to be very easy on top of indexes. It's not like, okay, the index number is 1 crore, it is going to take a lot of time. It is not like that. Directly it will jump to the respective index because the address is already defined here. Okay, so that is why we call it as what, the array list is okay. When you want to retrieve the data frequently, you can go for array list because it is faster when you use it to retrieve the data. Even for the first index, the same time it is going to take, and even for the index with a value of 1 crore, okay, it is going to take the same time that has taken for the first index. This is justified, isn't it? Right. So next point is 13th point. Yeah, how many methods we have seen? Okay, we have seen only 3 methods. Okay, index method, size method, and add method. We have so many methods. We'll discuss each and every method in the tomorrow's class. Okay. It is not, array list is not synchronized in nature. Okay, synchronized in nature is nothing but, okay, we will understand this in the tomorrow's class. Okay, the word synchronization needs some knowledge on top of Java multi-threading. Okay, we will discuss in briefly in the tomorrow's class about the synchronization, and we have few more points to conclude about this array list. Okay, tomorrow when you come to class, try to memorize these points, 13 points. Okay, and try to understand. Okay, when I say non-generic, it means you are not specifying the data. You are saying generic type, it means the specification is already clear, right? And just try to do some problems on these 3 methods: add method, size method, and get method. Okay, we have so many methods. Okay, and you watch this video once again to understand this incremental capacity, why it is called resizable in nature. Okay, any doubts for me? Any not doubts, what I am even asking. Any questions for me?